It was a story that came out of Eretz Yisrael about 20 years ago of a young woman at the beginning of her career who grew up totally secular. She grew up as a Chiloni, and somehow she crossed paths with a woman that was a Mekareves, an outreach professional, and they began to learn. And the secular woman was very intrigued by what she was learning, and she began to get more involved, and she started making strides in her personal Yiddishkeit and her personal spiritual growth. But then from one day to the next, all of a sudden, she disappeared. And the Mekareves, this woman who'd been helping her on this journey towards self-discovery, she reached out to her and she said to her, what happened? You just cold turkey? You just ghost me? And he said, I'll be honest, I'm going through some personal things. So she said to her, sometimes it's good to talk about personal things. Maybe I can give you some insight. She says, no, I probably shouldn't tell you what's happening. She goes, no. She goes, but you're going to judge me. She goes, I won't judge you. But tell me what's going on. She says, okay, let's meet for coffee. And she shares with her that she found out recently that she was pregnant and that she had been vacillating back and forth, and she decided that just because of her situation and where she is in life and the beginning of her career and everything, and her education, she can't see herself being a mother, so she was planning on terminating the pregnancy. So this Mekareves is taken aback. She goes, you're going to terminate the life that's inside of you? What does your husband think about this? She goes, he agrees with me 100%. But why? Why are you doing that? She goes, listen, I'm about to go to med school right now. I want to be a doctor. There's a lot of things going on in my life. I can't see myself as a mother. It's going to impede my ability to reach my career goals, to reach my dreams and my aspirations. We're going to have to terminate this pregnancy. So the Mekareves said to her, listen, if that's the decision you made, that's the decision that you made. But you are definitely putting yourself under some certain level of danger when you terminate a pregnancy. Did you ask, like a Rav, if that's the right thing to do? So she goes, I don't have a Rav. So the woman says to her, you know what? I have an amazing opportunity for you. I think I can get you into Rav Shlomo Zalman Auerbach, the Gadol Hadar. Let's talk to him about the situation, and you'll share with him your perspective, and let's hear what he says. He's a very open-minded, wonderful, friendly person. And the secular young woman agreed. So her and her husband meet this Mekareves, and they go to the small apartment of Rav Shlomo Zalman Auerbach in Shari Chesed. And Rav Shlomo Zalman, we all know, was so radiant and so warm, and he sits down, and she shares everything. She says, I plan on becoming a doctor. Having a child here will not let me finish my hopes and my dreams and my aspirations, and therefore I plan on terminating my pregnancy. So Rav Shlomo Zalman says, can I ask you a personal question? Why do you want to be a doctor? So she says, because I want to save lives. So Rav Shlomo Zalman says, why is saving lives such an amazing, virtuous thing? She goes, and she was taken aback, and she looks at Rav Shlomo Zalman, she goes, why is that virtuous? I mean, the most amazing thing you could do is to make sure that life perseveres and that life thrives. And all of a sudden, she freezes in her tracks. And she looks at Rav Shlomo Zalman and she says, I never thought of it that way. Here I want to terminate this life so that I could get on my career and try to save lives when I have a very life that I could bring into this world here. I don't know, I just didn't think of it from that perspective. Thank you so much, Kvod Harav, for giving me clarity. She walks out with her husband and she says, we need to rethink this. And she became a happy Jewish mother a bunch of months later. I want to analyze the story just for 1 second. What happened? This is a bright woman. She's going to med school. She's going to be a doctor. And she probably was genuine about her pursuits. She really wanted to save lives. So how could she not put together, isn't the equation staring her in her face? She's going to terminate a life to save lives? It seems like the thought never flitted through her mind. And the answer is very simple. That sometimes, because we're so busy living life one way or the other, because we're so caught up in ourselves, because of our perspective on things, we often fail to see things which are just staring us in the face. We often fail to see things which should be so apparent and should be crystal clear. And sometimes we need somebody from the outside in to share that with us. And that's what happened in this case.